AJ Smith-Shawver looked fantastic in his rehab start yesterday until he didn't. And he's going to make a fantastic addition to the rotation when he's ready, which he's not. Let's talk about it. Yes, welcome on into Braves Today, a production of the Believe Podcast Network and presented to you by FanDuel. I'm your host, Lindsay Crosby, author of the Braves Today newsletter over at bravestoday.com. I spent all day Saturday in Lawrenceville, Georgia with the Gwinnett Stripers. Fantastic day down on the field, shooting content. Brady Penn and I almost got struck by lightning trying to talk about Atlanta's first draft pick. Just fantastic day. We'll talk about Gwinnett in a few minutes and the fact that you need to go to a game. But before we do that, I was really excited that as part of this trip, I got to see AJ Smith-Shawver's first AAA rehab start. And it started really well. And overall, my thoughts on the outing, it was not perfect by any means. And I have quotes from him on what it was and what he struggled with and what's going to happen now. But I thought that you can see the potential is there. And the question between now and the trade deadline is, can you get him to where he needs to be back in the majors and just shoving? Because the raw stuff that AJ Smith-Shawver showed yesterday is frontline stuff. This is postseason starter stuff. The question is being efficient with it. The question is, how deep into games can he go and can he harness it? In the first inning, AJ's out there. His first pitch of the game is 97. In the third at-bat, he hits 99. Now, the problem here with that at-bat, that third at-bat, was it was a 6-pitch walk and mostly non-competitive fastballs, right? There was a splitter for a called strike in the zone. There was a fastball inside that Nolan Gorman fouled off. But for the most part, not super competitive. And so, was that reaching back to get the additional velo? Because he didn't get up into the 98s, the 98 point whatevers, any at-bat after that. Was that a realization from AJ that he needed to back off just a little bit? But when you look at how this went, first inning, he gives up a non-hard hit ball for a flyout, a non-hard hit ball for a lineout, the Nolan Gorman walk. He gets a strikeout looking on just an absolutely dotted fastball down and in. Fantastic location on the black. Leo Bernal takes it to end the inning. He comes back out for the second. He gets another strikeout looking. And this is one, I don't know what was going on here. Cesar Prieto had fouled off a couple pitches. He had fouled off strike 3 a couple times. And then he takes a four-seam fastball, the exact same location, right? That inside on the black. He even challenges it. And the call on the field's confirmed. And that was another 97.5. The fastball's looking really good for AJ. The primary secondary pitch here was the splitter, but he had a curveball. He had a sinker that he was throwing in there, and that was coming in 96 or so. StatCast is talking about his slider at 89.5. That's a cutter. I've confirmed with people close to AJ that is a cutter. And so the arsenal now is all 3 fastballs, four-seam, sinker, cutter, as well as the split change, which is his best breaking ball. Or I guess it's his best whiff pitch. Sorry, it's technically not a breaking ball. It's his best whiff pitch. And then the curveball along with it. And the velocity is up from where he was last year. The velocity is up from where he was earlier in the rehab starts. And the stuff is there. Now, in the third inning, things did not go according to plan. Oh, yeah. Sorry. In that second inning, he did give up a hard hit single. The runner was actually thrown out at second base. He tried to stretch it into a double. Luke Williams gunned him down at second base. And then he did give up a soft single, infield single back up the middle that Cal Conley just, it took him too long to get to it, get it out of his glove and make the throw, and the runner beat it out. The third inning's where it fell apart, right? So he gets a ground out to short. Again, not a hard hit ball. He gives up a single to Victor Scott. Another kind of ground ball up the middle to Cal Conley. Cal Conley can't convert the play. The guy steals second base. Then he issues a 4-pitch walk. Non-competitive walk. 4 pitches. None of them are near the strike zone. And the velo's down just a little bit there. Then he walks Nolan Gorman. Again, 5-pitch walk. 2 of them are vaguely near the zone. Then he gives up a 2-run single on actually a good pitch, a splitter off the plate away. The guy not only goes out to get, but he somehow pulls it to right. Still not a hard hit ball, but 2 runners score. And then he gives up one more single, and it's a hard hit single. And that's when they go ahead and they pull AJ for Carlos Carrasco. Stuff looked really good. Execution wasn't there. Friend of the show, Ken Segura of the AJC, was at the game. We talked in the suites after he talked to AJ, but he got some quotes from AJ Smith-Shawver. Smith-Shawver said, quote, obviously not the most ideal start. Just got behind on some counts, didn't really get ahead with the splitter, the off speed, and didn't really make too many adjustments out there. But it's one of those starts, getting back to it, getting a game feel, just trying to make some adjustments coming back. Obviously not happy with this one. Or not happy with that one. And I agree with AJ, right? This is an important step in the rehab. One, you have to work on stamina. We saw the velo drop a little bit in the third inning. It was a longer inning than the others. He threw 17 pitches in the first, 16 in the second. He threw 25 pitches in the third. But when the fatigue sat in, that's when the control was lost. First 2 innings, he had 19 strikes and 33 pitches. In that third inning, 25 pitches, 9 of those were strikes. And so this is something, when we talk about, it's not just pitch count, it's up downs, and it's guys getting comfortable going out there for a third inning, then going out there for a 4th inning, then going out there for a 5th inning, right? This is the kind of thing that happens, where a guy is going to struggle at times because it's just fundamentally harder the longer you go into the game to maintain your mechanics, to maintain your control, to maintain your velo. And when you're coming back from injury, these are the things you have to work on. And AJ kind of said that. It's just a mix about getting back into games and just getting a few things sped up on him there. Based on what I saw from AJ yesterday, I am fully convinced he is going to be back in the majors, in the rotation, and he's going to be one of the 5 best options Atlanta has. The question here is, how long does that take? And if the Braves do decide to put him into the majors, into the rotation, is he at the point in his recovery where he's reliable enough to make it through the rest of the season? Because the answer the Braves have to figure out is, how aggressively do we go find starters at the deadline? And I'm not saying you don't need one because Smith-Shawver's coming. But when you're evaluating whoever's available, because again, we're not going to know for a couple weeks who's available. When you're evaluating the packages and you're evaluating the quality of the arms you can get, you have to weigh that against who's currently here. This was the whole conversation about, you lost a couple starters in spring training, and people were like, go sign Chris Bassett. Chris Bassett this season hasn't been any better than the guys you have. He really hasn't. Lucas Giolito, not been better than the guys you have. And so Atlanta needs to figure out, how good is AJ Smith-Shawver going to be in August and September and maybe October, right? Based on what I saw yesterday, I think he's going to be pretty good but he's got to get there. It's going to take him some time to get there. And he actually talked about that. He talked about the plan is just get him more consistent and a higher pitch count so he can be in the majors and help however they need him. Quote from AJ, I think that's the plan. Just get built up, get some more pitches underneath my belt so I can piece some starts together and not put them in weird positions like I did Saturday, where I throw a weird amount of pitches in an inning and kind of hinder the rehab part of the process. He's going to make more starts in the minors. At least one. I'm assuming probably two, maybe more. And I'm curious to see where the next one's going to be. 6 days from now, when it's time for him to make another start, everybody's on the road but Rome. Augusta's in North Carolina in Fayetteville. Columbus is in Tennessee at Chattanooga. And Gwinnett is at Toledo. Do they move him to Rome and make a home start, or do they send him on the road with Gwinnett? Because we saw him make a couple rehab starts with Augusta, and he just cruised. The challenge wasn't there from the opposing hitters, right? Those two rehab starts together, 7 innings, 1 earned run, 9 strikeouts, no walks. And that 1 run was a solo shot. The challenge wasn't there. And so part of the reason to get him into Gwinnett, facing better hitters in a more competitive environment, so that he can be tested. The first test, he didn't pass, right? 3rd inning, couldn't finish the 3rd inning. The pitch count was higher, but he didn't pass that. Going forward, he probably should travel to Toledo and make a start for AAA versus moving down to Rome and being close by, but not being challenged. We'll see what they do. Either way, just based on what I saw yesterday, I am still high on AJ Smith-Shawver and what he could potentially add. And again, the question over the next 3 weeks is, what can you expect out of him? That's what Atlanta has to figure out. In just a second, though, let's talk about Gwinnett Field. So I think a lot of people maybe don't realize how nice of a ballpark it is and how great it is to take your family there for a ball game. We'll do that next, right here on Braves Today. But first, this episode's brought to you by our friends at IQ Bar, our exclusive snack, hydration, and coffee sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom-infused coffees are the tasty, low-sugar brain and body fuel that you need to win your day. The Ultimate Sampler Pack's a great way to try all of the IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. And all IQ Bar products are clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their busy lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom-infused coffees. And the Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3. Right now, IQ Bar is offering Braves Today listeners 20% off of all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text MLB to 64000. That's MLB to 64000. That's MLB to 64000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details. I mentioned it at the top, but I was in Lawrenceville at Gwinnett Field yesterday as a guest of the Stripers. Had a really great time, right? Met a lot of people, met the new head of food and beverage. They brought in a new food and beverage director in May. He has a lot of really cool stuff. He's already implemented a lot more things in the works. Obviously went shopping in the clubhouse store and all that kind of stuff. The big takeaway that I have from yesterday is so many people are sleeping on the Gwinnett Stripers as a thing to do with your family. One of the things I've been lucky enough to do as part of this podcast, part of this newsletter, is connect with Braves fans. I wrote a whole thing last year about the A-list ticket prices and those increases and how people responded to that and all this kind of stuff. And my observation has been that it sometimes not the easiest thing to do to take your family to a baseball game. In general, in the sport. Gwinnett's kind of an exception there. Every seat has great sight lines, right? They do this really cool thing. As you get out past the bases, the seats are angled a little more in towards the field, so everybody's angled towards the pitcher, which I haven't really seen a ton of that. It's a more extreme angle than you get in the majors and stuff like that. So really great sight lines by everybody. If you have a group, the suites are super cool. They've got all kinds. They have standard suites. They have a suite full of like game tables. They have a super suite like the size of 2 suites together. Just all kind of special hospitality areas, the club area. The food, I think the food is worth discussing because we kind of went around the ballpark, got to see a lot of the different stuff there. And one, they've got all the usual stuff, right? They've got hot dogs and burgers and fries and chicken tendies and all the ballpark classics, right? Your peanuts and Cracker Jack and whatnot. But they also have a lot of really cool stuff that compares, I think, to some of what the Braves offer at Truist Park, right? They have a stand of barbecue, right? You can do pork sandwiches, you can do briskets, all that kind of stuff. They've got a really cool thing on the first base side. The stand is called Loaded. You choose fries or tots or mac and cheese, and then you pick all of these toppings. It can be pork or brisket. You can do onion, you do bacon, just all kind of different stuff you can put on your fries or your tots, your mac and cheese, and they just make it right there in front of you. They've got an ice cream stand, right? They have ice cream cones and the souvenir helmets. Everybody loves a souvenir helmet. My kids love a souvenir helmet. Pizza. They've got multiple different bars. It's domestic and premium beer and mixed drinks and things like that. They got specialty cocktails too. They brought a couple of them up to us in the suite last night, and there's one of these has like cotton candy in it, like all these kind of like a punch bowl kind of thing. It's a fantastic, you can go and you can spend just a little bit, sit on the grass in the outfield and watch. You can be behind home plate. Again, all of the sight lines are great in the ballpark. Food on, they got Dippin' Dots. Who doesn't love Dippin' Dots? They have grab and go stands where it's all pre-packaged. You can come in, grab stuff and go. They have a big green egg station set up where you can get grilled sausages and grilled hot dogs and all that kind of stuff. The food and beverage is really good. The quality of the play is really fun, right? You get to see major leaguers rehab, and you get to see a bunch of dudes. If you were there 2 weeks ago, you'd have seen Jim Jarvis and Brewer Hicklin. They're in the Braves lineup on Sunday in Atlanta. Just tons of the parking, super convenient. Pulling out after the game was a piece of cake. It may have taken me 90 seconds to get out of the parking lot back on the highway. Fantastic venue. Can't thank them enough for what they did. And a lot of the theme stuff, what I like too about a lot of the theme stuff is a lot more fun, I feel, in the minors than in the majors. They had Toy Story night when I was there. So all the players had Toy Story themed jerseys, which was wild. Just absolutely nuts. But the staff and everybody leaned into it. A bunch of people that came to the suite while we were up there during the game were all in costume as well, right? We had Bo Peep come up. We had Jesse come up bringing stuff. There was a Woody floating around the ballpark. I'm going to kind of word it as it's more of the spirit of what we think of when we think of just a fun, relaxing night out for baseball, right? That the atmosphere, it's a little more intimate because it's a smaller park, obviously. They hold 10,000 and change. But the food's really good. We had a peach cobbler last night. Oh my gosh, peach cobbler with ice cream on it. Oh, so good. There's so many just really cool things that they do to make it unique, but the atmosphere is still great. And so I can't recommend enough 20 minutes to the northwest to go to Truist. If they're out of town, drive 20 minutes to the northeast. Go to the Stripers. Your kids are going to love it, and your wallet's going to love it too. It's a great experience. It's a great night of baseball. The field is beautiful. That is a very well-manicured field. It is major league quality, and it's absolutely worth your time. All the people are great. They deserve your attention. They deserve your support. So go out there, give them some support. Check that out. That'll do it for this mini episode of Braves Today. We'll be back tomorrow on Monday. I want to talk about the MLB draft, now that we have, all the picks in, talk about the draft, talk about what to expect here, talk about kind of final thoughts, wrap up the first half, right? May have to do 2 shows to fit this stuff in, but wrap up the first half, and then we'll be on our usual vacation the second half of the week, but back on Friday to preview the first series out of the break. So please like the video, please subscribe. We'll see you next time on Braves Today.